Hello everybody, this is Valencia and welcome to my channel Balloons in Business, where I show you the business of balloon and event decor. So I'm going to show you how I made this hot air balloon setup from beginning to end. I'm going to show you how I did the balloon garlands, as well as how I hung the sign and attached the hot air balloon cutouts to the balloons. So if you want to see how I did this, just stay tuned. So this is one of my arch frames. This is 7.2 feet tall. I got this from fashionandfascinating.com. This came in a set. So there's a 5-foot one, a 6-foot one, and a 7.2 foot one. And I paid maybe about $175 for all three of them. If you want something that's less expensive, you can go on efavormart.com and they sell some gold framed ones. I think the tallest one is 7 feet, and they have a 6-foot one and a 5-foot one, but they're sold separately and they're pretty inexpensive, like $30-$40 or something like that compared to these. They are thinner though, so the gold frame is not as it's not as thick as these. This is more of a heavy duty frame, but I've used the gold frame outdoors. I've even used them during like a rainy, stormy day with some wind underneath the tent, and they stood up fine when you put some weight underneath it. But these are heavy duty. They just clip together, and then all you do is just match the numbers. These already come like attached together with a string inside, and then you just pull them out and then just clip them all together, and then go based off of the numbers. So this is a pretty simple thing to figure out. They do come with instructions, so don't worry. And then I purchased this right here, which is a frame cover. I got this off of Amazon. Now, if you buy the frames on eFavorMart, eFavorMart.com also sells covers for their frames, but they don't sell covers for these heavy duty ones. CVLinens.com actually sells covers for the heavy duty ones. So you can get the heavy duty ones from CV Linens or Amazon. I got this from Amazon.
And have a super fun, sexy time. Super fun, sexy time.
So right now I'm just blowing up two 11-inch balloons, and then I'm going to round them out, and I'm going to tie them together into dupes, making sure I double twist the necks before I tie. And in addition to making a bunch of these 11-inch dupes, I'm going to make a dupe with one 18-inch balloon, as you see me blowing up, and one 11-inch balloon. And I'm just going to tie that together into dupes. So the color that I'm using is Sempertex brand Fashion White, and the sizes are going to be 5-inch, 11-inch, and 18-inch balloons. I will also be using some white 260Q balloons. Now I'm using all white because I want to make it look like clouds. Now once I'm done blowing my balloons up into dupes, I'm going to take two 11-inch dupes and double twist them together. And now I'm going to take one dupe with one 18-inch and one 11-inch balloon, and I'm going to double twist that in there for a cluster of 6 balloons or 3 dupes. So these are the 260 balloons. They're the stretchy balloons you make balloon animals out of. And I'm going to double twist that into a rubber band. And I like using this over regular rubber bands because it's more elastic in my opinion. So I'm going to stretch that 260 over 2 balloons in one cluster, then take another cluster and stretch that same 260 over 2 to 3 balloons in that cluster to get a nice tight fit. And that's how I'm attaching my clusters. So I'm going to attach about 5 of these clusters together. Now the goal here is to make it look like clouds. So I'm doing this small balloon garland of 5 of these clusters on one side, and I'm going to make the balloons look like they're kind of going behind the backdrop. So this is a backdrop clamp. I'm just going to double tie a 260Q balloon on there and then clamp that onto my backdrop. And then I'm just going to wrap that 260 around a couple of the balloons in the balloon garland and then tie the 260 into itself. And that's how I'm attaching it. I'm going to also attach it at the very bottom. So I'm just showing you how I attached it right there on the side. And then I'm going to show you how I'm going to attach that in right there that's in the back. I'm going to get a clamp and I'm kind of going to clamp it from the back. So I'm not going to clamp it on the side. I'm going to clamp it from the back so you can't see it from the front. The balloons are going to really be covering that up. Now I'm going to fill in this balloon garland at the bottom and the side. So that's a cluster of 6 balloons. I'm just using that 260. I tied it around that cluster and then I'm going to wrap it around the balloons at the bottom and tie the 260 into itself. And then I'm going to be adding some clusters of 4 balloons on the sides because I don't want it too thick. So that's just a cluster of 4 balloons. And I'm just showing you the other way to attach them. You can do the rubber band method like I did when I first attached the balloons together and just wrap it around a couple balloons in the garland. So whatever way is easiest for you. So as I mentioned earlier, my goal is to make this look like clouds. So I'm doing a few small balloon garlands and framing it around the backdrop as opposed to making one large balloon garland, because I want that cloud look. And as you know, clouds are broken up in the sky. It's not like this big old line of clouds. So I'm just adding these smaller garlands on there the same way I did with the first one. I'm using these backdrop clips. I would suggest using the 4 to 4.5 inch ones because they're big enough to go around the thicker frame poles for this backdrop. So using a handheld balloon pump, I'm going to pump 2 times into my 5-inch balloons, tie them together into dupes, and then twist 2 dupes to make a cluster of 4. Then I'm going to cut my 260s in half to save on material, tie one end around my 5-inch cluster, and then wrap the other end around the balloon in the balloon garland, and then tie that other end into itself. And so that's how I'm adding my 5-inch clusters to complete the look and make it look more polished. Now when adding my neon sign, I'm going to locate the holes in there and I'm going to take some 15-pound fishing line and I'm just going to put it through the holes and I'm going to triple tie because the fishing line is really fine. So you got to triple tie it, even tie it 4 times to make sure it doesn't slip out of the knot. And I'm just cutting off all the excess fishing line. That's from previous uses. So that's why you see so much excess. And then I'm going to let out maybe about 4 feet of the fishing line, cut it. And then the other end of the fishing line, I'm going to slide it through the mouth of a balloon clamp. And then I'm going to triple tie that to make sure it's nice and secure in the mouth of that clamp. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the legs of the clamp. See the legs right there? I'm going to twist that line back and forth around those legs until it's nice and secure. Get it in there real good. Twist it around several times. And I'm going to do that on both sides. So I'm going to clamp the sign onto the backdrop. Now, if you want to adjust the height and the way it looks, you just take one of the clamps off and you just run that fishing line through the legs again until you shorten up the fishing line and then you reclamp it. Then I'm going to take the other side to make it even and do the same thing. And so that's all you're going to do. That's how you're going to adjust it. And just you can move it up and down the backdrop to adjust the height and the evenness of it. Now, I don't want you to see that clamp from the front, so I'm going to take it and clamp it from the back. Just like I did with the balloon garland on the left side, I clamped it from the back so you don't see it. So this is how it looks. So now I'm going to show you how I'm attaching my air balloon cutouts. And I made those with my Cricut machine using poster board and some styrofoam. So I'm just using some glue dashes. They're called U-glue dashes. And I am attaching them to my balloon garland. So you want to be careful. Make sure you get it positioned where you want it. Because once you attach them, they're there to stay. So here's the finished product to my hot air balloon setup. So in total, I use 144 balloons, 44 5-inch, 82 11-inch, and 19 18-inch balloons. So if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, go ahead on and like it, and please subscribe, and you'll get notifications on future videos on balloon and event decor. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.